long time no see. Hello guys. It's been a minute since I last uploaded. I do have a reason though, not an excuse. It's a reason. I recently filmed TBR jar picks my September reads, but it doesn't want to upload. Like the video just like won't upload. So I don't know why she doesn't want to upload, but she doesn't want to be seen by the world. And if she does not want to be seen by the world, I'm not going to make her be seen by the world. So I did miss a week. Things happen. Oh well. As you can see from the title of today's video, I'm going to do my August reading wrap up. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to go through my short TBR stack for the month of September. So it's going to be a trust thing. I did pick these with my TBR jar. You're just going to have to believe that that is the truth, because it is. But, you know, so it's a trust test for this month. With that being said, we're going to move right on in to the reading wrap up. So for the month of August, I'm going to start with the books that I did not get to, and then we'll move on to the books that I did get to and completed. So the first book on my TBR that I didn't finish is Honey and Spice by Balu Babalola. I did start this book. I made it to chapter 4. I couldn't get into it at the time that I started it. I just wasn't really connecting with the characters. Granted, I only read 3 chapters, so but I just wasn't in the mood for it, I guess. This is like a soft DNF. I do want to, and I do plan to pick it back up and finish it. I just wasn't in the mood when I first opened it, and I just never opened it back up last month. So this is the first book that did not get completed. The second book that I didn't even touch was A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. I just didn't get to it. I don't know why. I definitely want to. I don't know. I was just done reading for the month, I guess. It's a nice mystery thriller. So I do plan on reading it maybe in the month of October, since, you know, it's spooky season. So I will get to this though. I promise. The third book that I did not get to was Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. I definitely wanted to get to this. I generally don't know why. If you watch my other videos, you know that I loved A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, so I definitely want to get to the other 2 books in the trilogy. So she will be read soon. I don't know when, but soon. Promise. Okay, now getting into the books that I did read. I read a total of 5 books for the month of August. The first book I read was Embrace Your Empathy, Make Sensitivity Your Strength by Christy Robinette. I've had this book for a while. When I go to pick up a book, I tend to go towards my, you know, fiction, romance. So this one just has been sitting there for a while. Thanks to the TBR jar, I finally got to it, and I really, really love this book. If you don't know, I am in college. I'm studying social work. So this book, I love anything that really has to do with like mental health or empathy, stuff like that. I genuinely did like this book. It wasn't what I expected, but I did really enjoy it. It talks a lot about, you know, the author Christy Robinette, just her, her experiences, and she is an empath, so it touches on that, and then so it touches on like her experiences, as well as gives like you tips on like how to see if you are a certain empath or how to embrace it. She talks about like crystals and like ways to protect yourself if you are a certain empath, and I just thought it was really cool. Lots of information. I did learn a lot. I found I kind of knew, I didn't know. I'm still a little confused on how you know if you are like an empath versus just have empathy, because it's not the same. I want to believe that I am an empath for like 2 of the, I think 5 that she talked about. I don't know yet. I definitely do think I want to pick up another book about it just to like get some more information on it. But it was really good. I rated this book 3.5 stars. It's kind of hard to like rate books like this because it talks a lot about like her experiences and then like some tips and tricks if you are an empath. But it wasn't like something where like you get connected with the characters or anything like that, because it's not a fiction book. But I did like it. I wish there was like a little bit more knowledge base on like how to determine if you are, as opposed to tons of like your experiences. But I did love her book, and I did love reading about all the different things she does, and she talks about how she's helped out with like police cases, so it's like really interesting. But like I need to find another book that goes more into depth about it a little bit more, just to like for like my peace of mind, and so I can learn a bit more about it and as to like relate it to me. But overall it was a really good book. I do like it, but overall I enjoyed the book. I'm really glad that I finally got around to reading it. But yeah, the second book that I read is actually a poetry book, and it's The Sun and Her Flowers by Rupi Kaur. I don't really rate poetry books because a lot of the times the poems are based off of their life experiences and like just like things that they've gone through. So I'm not gonna rate this book. I did like it. I love poetry. I have a lot of poetry books. Some of my favorite poetry books are from Isabella Dorta, who is on TikTok actually. I think her TikTok handle is Isabella Dorta Poetry 444. I will be sure and I will put her thing up on the screen so you can go watch her videos. She's amazing. But I do love poetry. This was no different. I really enjoyed this book. I will say it wasn't my favorite per se. I tabbed like some of my favorite poems. It wasn't my favorite per se just because I like in general I didn't really connect with some of her with most of her poems. But like I said, it's like based off their life and like their experiences, so I'm not going to be able to connect with every single poet in their poetry books. But I really did enjoy reading her poems. Overall, I really liked it. Once again, I love poetry. I do think I will probably look into some of her other poetry books and see what they're about. But I'm always on the look for new poetry books, new poets, because I love to be able to pick up a good poetry book. I love poetry books. This was great. Yeah, that's it. And then the last two books I read in the month of August, I'm not going to talk too much about because I did a video. My last video actually was talking about these two books. The entire almost 30-minute video I think is based on these two books alone. So if you want to know more about it, go watch that video. But the next book is Beach Read by Emily Henry, and I rated this book 5 stars. This was my first Emily Henry book. I loved every single thing about this book. January and Gus were perfection. I love this book. I was smiling, I was laughing, sobbing at the end. I love everything about this book. It was amazing. Once again, I did a whole video about this book and the next book. So if you want to know more about like how I feel and more in depth, go watch that video, because if I start talking about these books, this video will be an hour long. But I just loved everything about this book. I love that they were both writers who are going through writer block, and like they make a deal to swap genres that they normally write, because January normally writes romance books and Gus writes literary fiction. So to help each other with like the writer's block they're experiencing, they swap. And it's such a good read. I love how the relationship developed. The characters are just great. You really were able to connect with like what they were going through, what they were dealing with. And I really like, and I've noticed with Emily Henry books, they always look very fun and like colorful, and then they are really nice and fun reads, but it goes a lot deeper than you would initially think it would. And I really love books like that. So this was an amazing book. I highly, 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 highly recommend it. 5 stars, 10 out of 10, 20 out of 10. Emily Henry has definitely climbed up on my favorite authors list. So, love this book so much. The next book I read, also by Emily Henry, is Happy Place, which once again I did a video about this book as well. I rated this book, I think it was 4.5 stars. If I did it, that's what my rating is now. I love this book. Once again, the cover, very cute and fun. And then you get into the book and it is cute and fun, but also it goes a little bit deeper than the cute and fun rom-com you would think it would be. I love Emily Henry's writing. She does it so well of like making you connect with the characters. It's just so incredibly good. Like, I don't get it. This was my first second chance romance book because I think I said this in my last video. I didn't like second chance because I feel like why are we giving men a chance to begin with, let alone a second chance? That's my thought process. Sorry, I don't really care. But it was my first second chance romance and I loved it. So thank you, Emily Henry, for opening me up to that little trope. But it follows a friend group really, but the main characters are Harriet and Wynne, and it just follows them, and they had a breakup, but they hadn't told their friends yet, and their friends invited the entire friend group for like a last little trip at this one house that they go to like every summer. And so they decided to pretend like they're still this happy, fun couple with their friends so they don't ruin the vibe and the energy of the friend trip. And so it just follows them and dealing with being pushed back together and having to act like a cute, happy couple when they're not a couple anymore. And it follows their feelings and their thought process of being so close together and, you know, having these unanswered questions that are just floating in between, and neither one of them talking about what is going on. And it stressed me out so much because I just wanted to know the answers to the questions that they weren't asking. But it was like a good frustration. I love this book. It was amazing. Emily Henry, I'm so mad I started reading her so late, but I am a huge fan. I love her so much. She deserves only happiness in the world. I hope both sides of her pillow are cold at night. I love her so much. Thank you for sharing your amazing talents with the world. I love you so much. And that's all I can say about Emily Henry. The last book I read in the month of August was actually read on my beautiful Kindle, and I have to look up the name of it because I didn't remember it. And the title of the book is called Longtime Crush, a Montgomery Inc. legacy novel by Carrie Ann Ryan. I think this is like the third book in the series. I just borrowed it from Libby, and it happened to be the third book, but they're interconnected standalones, so it doesn't really matter which order you read them. I give this book 3 stars. I liked it. I did enjoy the book. I enjoyed the writing. It was cute. I really liked, one of my favorite tropes ever is like the found family tropes, because there's nothing more that I like than people having, just like Happy Place by Emily Henry was, like the friendships and just like the relationships were so strong and like heavily dominated the story. Those are like my favorite books ever, and I really loved the friendships throughout this book, as well as like the family dynamic that is the Montgomery family. They're all so close and like always there for each other and very protective, so I loved that aspect of the book. I will say I don't really remember the characters' names. I know her name is Raven, and I don't remember I think it was Sebastian. Don't quote me on it, but I think his name was Sebastian. But it follows, he's a single dad, which was my first like single parent book, and I liked it. So I am definitely on the look for more single parent books. So if you have any, please share them because I would love to read them. But he's a single dad. Sebastian, Raven, and then I don't remember the other girl's name. They were they were very close friends. They were like the trio everybody knew. And then Sebastian and the girl who isn't Raven, dated and they got married and they had a kid. Sadly, the mom, she passed away. Raven has always had a crush on Sebastian, but she never said anything because her friend, the one who passed away, said that she liked Sebastian as well, and she was always like the more quiet and timid one, and Raven was like the more outgoing one. So Raven knew if she told her friend that she also had a crush on Sebastian, the friend would have backed away immediately, and she didn't want her friend to do that. So she pretended like she didn't have a crush on him, and then, they graduate high school, they go to college, whatever. Raven moves away. And so the trio is separated, and then the one friend and then Sebastian, get married. Like I said, had a kid, lived life. She passed away. Raven comes back for the funeral, and she decides to move back home where Sebastian is. This makes Sebastian mad because he's like you left us so many years ago. Like, why are you back now? Life goes on, da 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 da. She is a baker, he is a tattoo artist, and they're right next door to each other. So it's like forced proximity as well. And it's just like the story of them falling in love and Raven coming to terms with like this crush that she's had on Sebastian never went away. It's just she moved away, trying to cover it up, but it's always been there. And Sebastian's struggling with the fact that he is also having feelings for Raven, and he feels like he shouldn't do this because he feels like he's, not being loyal to the mother of his child, and he just feels like he doesn't deserve another person and to fall in love again because it feels wrong. That was a long explanation of it, but that's what the synopsis is about. Overall, I thought it was a nice read. I did like the book. I think I do plan on reading the other books in the Montgomery Inc. series, just because they left a little hint of what the next couple will be in book 3, and I'm very interested. So I think I probably will continue with the series. I don't know when I'm gonna pick it back up again, but we'll see. We're gonna go with the flow. If I feel like it, I'm gonna pick up my Kindle and get the next book. But I thought it was a nice read. Very fast paced. I think I finished it in a day. So no, not too many complaints on this book. Would I recommend it? Sure. Okay, now moving on to the stack of books that are my September reads. It's a very short stack. There's literally only 4 books because I started school this month, and I also started a new internship plus work. So I'm very busy. So I don't think having a large stack of books for a TBR was even remotely possible of having, because I'm still adapting to my new schedule. So I only have 4 books, and I'm gonna go through those. The first book I'm about to show you, I have actually already finished because I absolutely love this author, and I was just super excited to start said book. And that book is King of Wrath by Anna Hong. As you can see from my little annotations, Anna Hong, I just love her writing. Honestly, it's very, very fast paced. I picked this book up and I just didn't want to put it down. What more can I say about her? I have her Twisted series up here, have King of Wrath, King of Pride is over on my bookshelf waiting to be read, and it's also signed, which is so exciting. Should I show you guys? Okay, so this is King of Pride. I just wanted to show you because it's signed and I'm so excited about it. So very, very excited to read this book. Very excited to know about Isabella and Kai. But back to the book I was talking about. And I pre-ordered King of Greed, of course. I just love her books so much. So much. The next book on my TBR is Mixed Signals by B.K. Borison. I haven't started it, but I do have my tabs ready for when I do start it. Honestly, I literally got this book based off the cover. I know we're not supposed to judge books by their cover, but I 1000% do. If I go to a bookstore and I see a book with a beautiful cover, more than likely I'm going to buy it. And if I see one that does not have a good cover, probably not going to buy it unless I read the synopsis and fall in love with it. So I literally saw the cover of it as I was about to check out, grabbed it, put it in my basket. That's how that went. Got home, then read the synopsis, and it sounded like a book that I would pick up anyways, so I did. And I just love this cover. It's giving very fall vibes. In September, it's like, for me, it's that transition. I live in Ohio, so it is getting colder. It's like 67 degrees today. So for me, it's like, this is the transition month into fall. So I got this book because of the cover. So I'm very excited to see how this book plays out. The next book on my TBR is She Would Be King, and I still do not know how to pronounce this author's name. I'm so sorry. I think it's Waiatu Moore. Genuinely, I have no idea what this book is about. I read the synopsis and I literally bought this book based off of one sentence, and it sounded good. So I was like, I'm gonna get it. We're gonna see how it plays out. And so I did. So I'm very excited and interested to start reading this book and really know what it's about. I think I'm just gonna go into it blind. I'm not even gonna read the synopsis again. Just guys, you know, see the vibes of the book. But like I said, the one line that I remembered from the synopsis sounded so interesting. Literally the only reason I picked up this book. And I am very excited to read it. It's been on my shelf for quite a bit. I think it's because I don't remember what it's about. So, but I'm excited. And then the last book on my TBR is The Other Black Girl by Zakiya Delilah Harris. Once again, I picked up this book because of the cover. The cover of it's just so pretty. Like, I just like the woman, the fro, and I love that the eye is a pick. I saw it and I was like, that is gorgeous. I want it now. And that's exactly why I bought it. The synopsis, it also sounds really good. It touches on like dealing with injustice and like racism in the workplace and just stuff like that. And it sounded so good. Plus the cover was drop dead gorgeous. So I picked it up. Very excited to read this book. I think this book is going to be the next one I read. Who knows? But this is the final book on my September TBR. So that leaves us with, well, that leaves me with 4 books. Finished one already. So hopefully I finished the other 3. It is September 13th as I'm filming this. But overall, I'm very excited. I think I have really good picks for the month of September. These are the books that I did pick with my TBR jar. You're just gonna have to trust me because that video does not want to be seen at all because it just won't upload. I've been trying for a week. So these are the books that were picked from that video. And I also did a little book haul in that video because I got like 12 books. So I mean, you're just not going to see the new books. Like, you'll see them when I do like my TBRs because there'll be new books, but that video doesn't want to be seen. But anyways, that was the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there are any books on my August reads that you have also read or you plan on reading, let me know in the comments. And if you have read any of the books that I plan on reading for September, also let me know. Like, especially if you've read this one, is it good? Please tell me. It sounds good, but also, I don't know, sometimes I'm a little iffy about my romance books. And this is also fake dating, which, like I've already said, I'm not the biggest fan of. But yeah, that is all I have for you guys today. Sorry this video was out so incredibly late. But, you know, we love the internet. What else can I do? But yes, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for being here. If you did like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment of book recommendations or any video ideas you would like to see me do. But with that, I am going to sign out. Bye.